So I'm kind of a nerd. I like to read a lot, and I have this like whole shelf of books that I have read. I'm going to talk about my two favorite books. They go hand in hand, so you have to read them, both of them. I mean, you don't have to, but you should. They are Jamie McGuire's Beautiful Disaster and Walking Disaster. These books are like my life. Like, I could not put them down. The first one is this one, Beautiful Disaster. This one's about a girl named Abby. I'll read the back to you guys. The new Abby Abernathy is a good girl. She doesn't drink or swear, and she has the appropriate number of cardigans in her wardrobe. Abby believes she has enough distance from the darkness of her past, but when she arrives at college with her best friend, her path to a new beginning is quickly challenged by Eastern University's walking one-night stand. Travis Mad Dogs, lean, cut, and covered in tattoos, is exactly what Abby wants and needs to avoid. He spends his nights winning money in a floating fight ring, and his days as the ultimate college campus charmer. Intrigued by Abby's resistance to his appeal, Travis tricks her into his daily life with a simple bet. If he loses, he must remain abstinent for a month. If Abby loses, she must live in Travis's apartment for the same amount of time. Either way, Travis has no idea he has met his match. This book is amazing. First of all, Travis is like my dream boy, tough, covered in tattoos, and all around bad boy. That's like my weakness is tattoos. So once I read that, I was like, yep, I'm reading this book. And it's so good. Like, it's the best book ever. It's has a bunch of like plot twists that you would never expect. It just comes out and you're like, what the fuck did I just read? Honestly, I could not put it down. I was like obsessed with this for the longest time. I think I read it twice, and there's so many pages in here that are just, I have marked because it's like my favorite, and you will fall in love with Travis. Like, you will want to be Abby. You're like, give me a Travis now. The next book is Walking Disaster by Jamie McGuire again. It's the same book. It's the same exact book as this one, but in Travis's point of view. Because this one's narrated, Beautiful Disaster is narrated by Abby. So like, she's the narrator, so you're in her head and her thoughts and whatever goes on. And this is the same book, but with Travis, like in Travis's point of view. So everything that happens in this book, but you see his perspective on it and his thoughts. And so as she is trying to avoid him and her thoughts on that, you see what he sees. So as she's trying to avoid him, you see how she tries and everything. And it goes through, like, when they first met, you have her, ideal of him and how he first sees her. And it's great. I'll read you the back of this one too. It's Travis Mad Dogs learned two things from his mother before she died. Love hard, fight harder. In Walking Disaster, the life of Travis is full of fast women, underground gambling, and violence. But just when he thinks he's invincible, Abby Abernathy brings him to his knees. Every story has two sides. In Beautiful Disaster, Abby had her say, now it's time to see the story through Travis's eyes. It's just, I love this one. I think I like this one better than Abby's version, and that's hard for me because normally, like, I'm very picky with my books. I have to have the protagonist be a girl, and she has to be the narrator, and it has to have some kind of love component in it, whether it works out in the end or not, just that little bit of romance of it. And this is, it's not completely different, but it kind of is. Like, the protagonist is still narrating it, but it's a boy this time. But getting inside of Travis's head is, you can just feel, like, every emotion you felt in the first one is so much more intensified in this one. This one is just amazing. I could not put this one. I was so excited for this book, and I could not put it down. I read it in I think like a day and a half maybe. I was just obsessed. It's so good. After you read the first one, like the way she ends it it's brilliant. I love the way she ends it. But like you want more. Like there's like it's not a cliffhanger, but you're like, "Oh, okay, I want to see more, like what happens next." And she does a really good job with that in this. And Walking Disaster. She ends it the same way. Obviously, like, they both end the same way, the same outcome happens. And then she, like, adds a little bit more. So there's, like, that extra, like, oomph of, like, what you've been wanting for in this one. And then she wraps it up so nicely. And she really makes it able to, like, lead into those other books that she's going to be writing. So that's exciting. I'm so excited for those. She's writing at least 2 more on Travis's brothers. He's got a couple brothers. And she's writing at least 2 for 2 of them. And the end of Walking Disaster, like the epilogue, it'll transfer perfectly into that. So I am so excited. So if you guys are nerds and you like reading and you have nothing to do this summer, want a little summer reading, definitely get Beautiful Disaster and Walking Disaster. They are phenomenal. So great. I guess I will end this Nerd Fest as I am just giddy for these books and just makes me want to go read them again. So if you guys like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you comment if you read them and your thoughts on these books. If you do read them, if you have read them, comment below. Let me know if you guys liked it or how excited you were, or who your favorite character is. And if you want to see more of me, go subscribe to my channel. I make videos every Monday. So I'll see you guys later. Bye! Have this big shelf. I'm so path to new beginnings quickly changed. God damn it.